This is Critical Nonsense, our high-lowbrow show about culture, science, and tech. This week, I asked Joey about remembering important details.
Woo! I'm a scat man. Be-ba-ba-ba-da-bo. This is what a Joey sounds like. And this is what an executive producer and Scatman Jess sounds like.
Hi, this is Jess. I don't know if you want to be calling anyone that.
I mean, yeah, fair. I think we have multiple meanings in this, unintended. Jess.
Yeah.
It sounds like you don't trust your phone.
I don't. I don't know if this just a me thing, but when it's somebody's birthday or when I'm about to send a letter to someone, which maybe that's also only a me thing, but I'm trying to find somebody's address and I'm just thinking to myself, like, is that true? Is that real? Should I go confirm? Should I cross-reference with another site that, yes, that is in fact their birthday and that there is evidence because someone else has also wished them happy birthday. Okay, it's not just me. Okay, I can text them happy birthday and I'm doing my cross references or for an address. Sometimes I'll double check, or I've noticed people will do this to me too. They'll say, "Hey, are you still at this place?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I guess there was a time where I was moving every year, and so it's possible that I would change things up. But I just think there's something really interesting about why is it that we assume that things are changing, especially things that should be certain. I feel like it even overlaps into spaces like people saying, they're RSVPing, yes, that they're coming to a party that I'm hosting, but I'll still text them just to make sure, like, hey, are you still coming to this? I haven't heard about it from you, so I just want to make sure that this is still your plan. And I don't know. I'm just wondering, how has technology made us less sure of ourselves?
Yeah, it's interesting to think about this through the lens of how did people do some of these behaviors prior to, like, I remember the Rolodex growing up. I don't know if your mom or dad were still keeping a Rolodex.
For sure.
Yeah. And like the scratching out of different things on different people's like Rolodex cards of like Judy Gamache has 4 phone numbers that are X'd out and 2 addresses that are X'd out, and you're tracking it in that capacity. I don't know if, in theory the same problem would have persisted, but I think one of the key areas of difference is the geographic area of our generation's relationships is greater, right? Like, the lots have been written. There's more likelihood of millennials and Gen Z to live away from where they grew up. And so that like sense of the propinquity of your social network and your tighter social bonds is greater. I mean, even right, like living in New York, while geographically it may be a tight zone, temporally is like big, right? If your friend lives in Morningside Heights and you live in, I don't know, Park Slope or Bushwick or something, like, it might take you an hour plus to get there, even though it's like 7 miles away, versus like if 7 miles in like other parts of the country would be like, that's a 10-minute car ride, Yeah,
I also feel like it is both easier to update people and less possible that then we will update everyone who might be interested in such information. For example, like we've talked about on the show before, how it used to be, if there were landline phones only and you agree that you're going to meet somebody somewhere, it's like kind of expensive or kind of difficult to change plans last minute. You're going to show up. Otherwise it'll be like, hey, you completely left me out in the lurch. Like, where were you? So like you're building up that sort of social commitment to each other. Whereas now it's like, sorry, something came up, can't make it. And you can text the moment you're supposed to be arriving. And, in theory, you've at least communicated that things are different than you had said they would be. Or, from like the address standpoint, maybe you are somebody who's moving around a lot, changing things up a lot. It's like maybe you remember to let a few people know, but maybe you're not on the social medias and you're not blasting everywhere your new address. Like, I don't know. It's like, how is everyone going to receive that news unless you're going to send mail to everyone that, hey, I've moved. Here's my new address. Like, I feel like that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there are services that have existed or like pop up for you're like Postable as an example, where you like update your address if it changes and you put your birthday and whatever into that, and in theory you update it one place and anyone who you're connected to, but like as a social network is like not quite a strong enough need to like remember that I'm gonna go update my Postable account. Right. Like it's like I interact with this like once a year.
Yeah.
And so it sort of like doesn't quite deliver on the drive to the service that would allow it to be successful at what it does. But I think it is interesting in like that spatial component or number, like it makes me think a little bit about like Dunbar's number or things like that, where like I've gone to many different gyms over my life, and the one that I'm going to right now is the smallest one that I've ever been. It's like basically like 2 floors of like a railroad apartment that have been like the walls have been knocked down. Mm-hmm. And the dynamics that emerge from that are like quite different. Like
everybody probably knows each other who walks in.
Yeah, like Crunch or New York Sports Club are ones that, and I'm assuming things like Equinox or whatever, but like you'll just go in and like people will like fist bump each other, just like, hey, how you doing? Like, or like dap each other down. And you're like, huh. Like no one's ever fist bumped me at any other like I like it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like, oh, Siobhan's over there. He's like doing his thing, and like I might talk to him for 2 minutes or something. I've never talked to literally like anyone at any of the other gyms outside of like, are you using that or something?
Are you done with this? Thanks.
But that what the sort of spatial diffusion of your networks does is then you put people wind up in this limbo. Someone who is like a tight network connection historically and you have history with, but now it's far away. You're seeing other people more, and there's this like tug of war of like, wait, I have more history with that person, but I see this person more and I hang out with them more. Like, when do they pass? The person that maybe you grew up or your best friend in college is like, you call them your best friend, but like you see them once a year or something. Like there are like weird dynamics that emerge in that. And so like, your best friend's birthday doesn't change. When your best friend's birthday is, or loosely. It's like, is it December 10th or December 11th? But like, I know it's one of those, right? But because you're not seeing them all the time where they're like, hey, I'm moving. Can you help me move? Like, they're not asking you to help them move because they live in, the other side of the country or another place in the world or something like that. And so that diffusion, I think, sort of results in a lot of these things where it's like, I don't know if this is right. I'm not going to send a Christmas card. I don't want to go through the effort of finding everybody that I'd want to send. I've never sent a Christmas card as an adult. Like, my family always sent them. I get some from other people, but I'm like, do people care about this that much that they want to receive a Christmas card from me? Like, I don't, send them to 17 states,
It's a lot. People like it, but it's a lot. Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm lumping in a bunch of things together. Like the thing you're describing, I feel like somewhat addresses the lack of trust about birthdays, which the spatial diffusion, or like, I don't know, it's been so long. Is this still right? Or like, was there room for error here somewhere? I feel like that's part of it. I feel like there's like a couple other parts. One that we're talking about, which is that things can change and you don't always know. It's like hard to keep up with what is the best way to reach you. Like maybe it's not email anymore, or maybe you've changed your email, or maybe there's, there's like better app or something to contact you, or maybe you've moved physically to a different place. And so all of that change is hard to keep up with. But then maybe there's this one other thing, which is like, I think in an attempt for these devices like that app you were describing of like, oh, we'll auto update it for you, that I am like, but I didn't update that. So like, I don't remember if this is the most up-to-date thing or not. And we're in the middle space where some things maybe are that seamlessly updated, where you can like share your contact and update your contact and just push it to all people who have that contact card in your phone. But not everything works that way. So I'm like, I want to be able to wholly trust and not think about this, but I am in the in-between stage where I must actually think about this. Like now, there must have been a period of time where, back when people knew people's phone numbers, and now we don't know people's phone numbers.
Yeah.
It's like there must have been an in-between place where it's like, can I just like triple confirm your phone number? Now we trust fully that the phone number is the phone number, and that's what it is.
Yeah, but you had like a phone book if you couldn't remember, right? Like there was access. But I'm trying to think about like what's the equivalent of that. And it's like, it would have made sense, but I don't know if this happened. Like, did people like send Rolodex cards in the mail of like, here's an updated Rolodex card you can slide into your Rolodex because I've moved and it has the most up-to-date. Like that would have been effective. I don't remember ever seeing something like that happen, but like.
Yeah, I feel like it would also be like, it's different where, the certain things where someone sends you the update of like, hey, this is my address, or hey, more permanently, hey, this is my phone number. You put it in and then it's done. I think it's harder when the thing that you're pulling from has been scraped. It's like if the birthday is pulled from Facebook, where someone maybe like made an account a long time ago and like didn't actually put in their real birthday, or like, I don't know if that paranoia is shared by other people, but I'm like, the scraping is the thing that makes me nervous, because I'm like, I would rather just lock it in and be good, and it's like crossing out the thing on the Rolodex than having it be set forever. But I'm like, I don't know. What if it's all wrong?
Well,
happy birthday ?
It is one thing that's interesting about this is it feels like maybe historically there was a handful of things that we all sort of agreed upon were like the important information that would go into this. It's like address, contact, birthday, maybe those are the things. But like I have a lot of people that I'm quite close to where a bunch of those components I don't know, right? Like, there's a lot of people that I'm quite close to where I have their phone number and like, that's it. Right. And I talk to them via that interaction. I don't know what their address is. Like people that I see even like digitally or talk to weekly where I'm like, I don't actually know their birthday. Mm-hmm. Is that an important aspect of relationships now, or does it play the same role that it historically did? Like, I don't know, like what is the equivalent like vital set of information today? It might actually be like phone number and email address. Mm-hmm. Like
and maybe handle of something, but the handle has really changed over time because it's spread too thin across platforms. You're at blank.
Yeah, like what is the set of information that you should know for like a top 20 contact today?
Right.
Right.
It's not phone number. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Used to be you would be able to memorize that by heart. I still find it really important for top 5 to know their phone number by heart, because what happens if your phone runs out of battery or something and you'd be like, hey, can I borrow your phone? Can I call you?
I'm only like 80% sure I could tell you Becky's phone number accurately right now.
Well, I am 100% sure I can tell you Ryan's.
Wow.
So
I'm like pulling it up and being like,
do you know? Everyone,
nope, I got a number wrong.
Got it wrong. Everyone think to yourself, really hard right now. Do you know by heart the phone number of a dear, dear person in your life? If the answer is no, that is unfortunate for you. In the case of an emergency, you are totally ruined and you've got no one to call.
I mean, Becky's had the same phone number the entire time we've been together, and I was one digit off.
Whoop. No good. No good.
No.
Growing up, I didn't have this, but my younger siblings apparently learned my dad's phone number via song. He made like a little jingle for them so that because they grew up in a time where one did not memorize a phone number.
Yeah.
But feeling that this was important, he came up with one. And then one time, and I had no idea of this until
8675309.
Exactly. Until my sibling was like, "Oh, got a call," and like sang the little jingle, and I was like, "What was that? What in the world was that? That was crazy." They were like, "You don't know? What do you mean?" It's like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you too can come up with a jingle to memorize essential basic information for your close people if you like.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about too, like in this context of like what are the signals of strength of relationships today, where maybe historically, I won't say they like all were homogenous, but maybe more homogenous, right? Like if someone was close to you, you would send a Christmas card, you would send a birthday card, you would have like
these are
both the behaviors and the information that would be a demonstration, right? Like, and some of those were sort of cultural traditions as signal. What we see is like culture has evolved a ton as a result of technology, and in some instances, a thing that has been, whether replaced or lapsed or reduced in importance has not been, there is not a replacement behavior or action that comes with it. Like we talk sometimes about, right, the decline of religiosity and not going to church and the impact that has on community, right? There's lots of economics data about that sort of idea because it was a specific place that people went maybe one day a week on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on which faith tradition you were immersed in. But like that was a place you would go, right? Like that was a thing. That has gone away and often has not been replaced with something else. And so where do we have the signals? Like the shapes of my close relationships can be radically different, but I might still say that they're of like equivalent importance or equivalent strength or closeness or whatever, but can be quite different, right? Like I talk to you as often or more often than some of my best guy friends, but I know them from either high school or college or whatever, and the texture of our interactions, both in sort of where they happen, how they happen, are like different. And I might say you're like equivalently close to me, but like it looks
different
so
power ranking.
Yeah.
No, I understand. No, I feel like the outward, almost exclusively the signal that we have are just varying forms of engagement.
Yeah.
It's like, how often do you text? Talk? Like, how often do you see them? When you do see them, do you post about it and like canonize it or like publicize it to others to celebrate that you are close? Like basically just how much do you make a thing of it and interact with each other? But that isn't actually necessarily a great representation of those relationships. And it's weird that the other signals that maybe we used to have of like a duty to know their birthday by heart have kind of fizzled.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think about like, because I think about it way too often, like Sternberg's triangular theory of love, right? Like commitment, passion, intimacy.
Like we all do.
Right. Like there is sort of like a frequency of interaction as it relates to like your engagement point. There is an intensity of interaction. And then there's potentially sort of like topical or behavioral breadth of those interactions. Like I have very close friends, but like the topical breadth is considerably more narrow.
Like we only hang out in this capacity and we only share this thing in common.
Yeah, we only talk about these things, but like I like you, you like me, we get along, we can hang out.
We're a happy
whatever.
family. That's not the way the song goes.
But it's like but in those instances it can be like deep but narrow, right?
Yes.
And other relationships maybe aren't as deep but are more broad, and like the sort of aggregate of the breadth equates to something similar, even though the relationship feels quite different.
Yeah, and also I think while that is all nice in sort of the other, like some things you could possibly measure or evaluate when looking at a relationship, I feel like the thing we're talking about here is more about the exchange of like, what are you doing and are you aware of, like, basically the how much effort did you put in?
Yeah.
Or are you willing to put in to get the things you need to know about a person, or like how dedicated are you to this
or
friendship?
How important are they? That's the part where I'm like, of these things in a contact card, how important is it? If I think like phone number is probably like number one to me. So I can text you, I can call you.
To have it, not to know it.
Yeah, but to have
it.
And then I think that is like the number one signal, because is probably the most, like in terms of digital communications, a text message is probably the most intimate outside of maybe a FaceTime. If you're a random FaceTime is extremely intimate.
Right. This is where, when celebrities are like, oh, I have Rihanna's contact information or whatever. It's like, I have her phone number. Like that is something to celebrate, because it's a sign of like, wow, she's willing to allow me that kind of access. Now FaceTime is maybe you have that access, but someone is unwilling to let you.
Yeah. Don't pull that trigger unless you know it. Like, occasionally, there was like a joke of these comedians at one point where they would just randomly FaceTime people just to be like, this is so invasive, FaceTime. And then they would just be like, who picks up? Like, who picks up a random, like, your closeness? Like, if your best friend FaceTimed you right now, you would pick up.
Yeah.
If, like, I FaceTimed you right now, probably not.
I mean, that would be unusual as we are sitting across from each other.
But if we left in 20 minutes and I FaceTimed you,
I feel like I would definitely pick up.
Yeah.
I also think that I non-comedically do this to other people a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. They're like, why are you doing, what's up? Like, you need anything?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, just wanted to see your face.
All right. Well, can you bring us to our contact corner?
Okay, it turns out that maybe there's lots of reasons that I get nervous about not knowing important things in my people's lives or questioning those things. Maybe it's because nowadays we are spread out farther than we ever used to be, and it makes us doubt ourselves. Maybe it's because there's just a lot of change going on in our lives and it's hard to keep up. And maybe it's also because we're in this sort of uncanny valley of technology being kind of good at auto-updating things and otherwise not. And now we are sort of in this place where we can be reassessing what are the ways in which we figure out whether we are close with somebody. What do I need to know about them? How do I need to engage with them to make them know that I consider them someone close and important to me? So I don't know, maybe you can be like Joey and not send a Christmas card. But if you're ever thinking about it, maybe you should, because just in case we lack some of these signals now more than we ever used to. So can't hurt, is what I'd say.
Be best. Critical Nonsense is a Sylvain production.
Brought to you by... Wait, can you just tell me that one more time again?
As always, we'd like to thank our executive producer and switchboard operator, Jess Vander.
Thanks. We'd also like to thank sound engineer and the ultimate of signals of knowing things. Alex Gatto, we love you.
We'd like to thank our programming coordinator, manager, I think I switched that term, and oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman, Les Jacobs.
We'd also like to thank our production crew and embodied Rolodex, Sarah Gilbert, Nora Mestrich, Chrissy Jensen, Amanda Medina, and Amy Waters.
As always, thanks, Helen. Special thanks to Dipset.
Whoa.
Really produced some bangers there in the aughts.
Yeah, a special thanks to Triangles for being stable.
Special thanks to designer of Panda fame. He's putting out some new tracks, stylistically switching it up. I'm into it.
Wow, I have no idea what that is.
Well, we did it.
Okay, this is fun. Bye.
Love you, Mina. Bye.